Hey guys, let's talk about something very sensitive about human nature, the law of grandiosity. This is an area many people do not want to address because probably they are already trapped into it, or we are all candidates of the same once we become successful. Make sure once you get yourself there, consider the remedies as early as possible. The law of grandiosity basically is human natural tendencies to inflate their own images. This is done by believing that they are more capable and superior than other humans, especially after being successful. Success can make you arrogant, dismissive, and makes you blind to see that you got yourself there through lack or help of others. Hmm. Eventually, you end up losing touch with the reality and making poor decisions. But, all is not lost because there are remedies for this. Make sure you try and manage these by staying grounded, seeking feedbacks, acknowledging others, and above all, practicing humility. I'll take you to Maslow's hierarchy of needs where every tier leads you to another desire in the next tier. There is a block as the last block called self-actualization. Self-actualization is where humans tend to desire to become the most they can ever become in their entire life after achieving everything a human can ever achieve. This has been superficially painted to you in school, but it lives with us. That last block is very dangerous, and you should be more concerned once you get there. It is a desire that leads you to wanting to be worshipped. I'll give you few examples, just two examples of something that was happening a few weeks ago, and actually one of them just a week ago. There is this pastor called Pastor Chris Oyakelume, a Nigerian pastor. This is a pastor who preaches about faith and prosperity and the powers of the Holy Spirit. He did his 60th birthday, I guess, a few days ago, just like a week ago. And we saw a desire of wanting to be worshipped. To some point, he even painted a picture of heaven by doing it practically. He was escorted with a chariot, wearing a robe of a king and a crown of a king. The escort were people with feathers, suggesting that they were angels. People surrounding them were suggestive also. There were big figures in attendance. And at the pulpit or at the stage, something was written that was more questionable called Heavenly Pantheon, a night of celestial realm. It makes you question. You know what that means? Heavenly Pantheon is basically the gods of the skies. Okay, so the picture they were painting there is just a self worship of this guy. Remember, he represents God, but we don't see the representation in his celebration. There is no humility, there is a lot of arrogance in what he is doing a celebration. People may not get it because they are fans, but the picture the world is seeing is the same with the world. There's another example of this guy called, he's an artist called Burna Boy. Burna Boy a few weeks ago kicked out a certain fan who was sleeping, and she happened to be a lady, because he felt that the worship he wanted as he performed did not come from one of the fans, just one. The rest were shouting his name and singing along, but he noticed one of the fans sleeping, and he demanded he won't continue until that fan gets out of the event. That is a certain sense of wanting to be worshipped because they've reached their self actualization block. I'll not talk more about this, but be cautious. Pull out the remedies once you get there. Adios.